Are you curious about the ins and outs of living in an HOA community? Well, you're in the right place because today we are going to dive deep into the world of homeowners associations. So stay tuned. I got you covered. Hello and welcome back to another episode. Today we are discussing all things homeowner associations or HOAs. We'll explore the benefits and potential pitfalls of living in a community with an HOA, ensuring that you make a well-informed decision about your next home. But before we continue, my name is Lynette and I am a real estate agent in Greensboro, North Carolina with Berkshire Hathaway, and I am here to help you with all your real estate needs here in the Triad. So let's get back to it. So what is an HOA? Well, you'll often find them in condominiums, townhome communities, and planned unit developments where homes are kind of built at the same time and often by the same builder. HOAs are responsible for the maintenance of shared amenities like clubhouses, pools, and the tennis courts, stuff like that. When you're on the hunt for a new home, it's important to understand if the potential property is part of an HOA and what that entails. And your real estate agent will be guiding you through that process, so they'll be able to help you understand all the ins and outs of an HOA. So let's talk about the benefits of homeowner associations. There are often several advantages to living in a community with an HOA, and first and foremost is the property values tend to be more stable in these areas. And that's because there's a certain standard all homeowners must adhere to ensure that the neighborhood remains well kept and attractive. Some communities even offer landscape maintenance, which means less yard work for you as the homeowner. So property values are typically protected due to the standards and rules that homeowners must follow. So for example, you may need approval for major exterior changes. So your neighbor won't go and paint their house a crazy color. They may devalue your home. So there are some drawbacks to HOAs. And it's important to look at both sides of the coin. And many people dread living in communities with HOAs because of the restrictions involved. And these rules can limit your creative freedom when it comes to your property. Like you may not be able to paint your house that vibrant color, or you could face limitations and penalties of where you can park your car. So it's crucial to understand that when you're buying a home in an HOA community, that you're signing a contract to follow the rules. There is no easy way to bypass them, so you really want to make sure that you're understanding the rules before you sign on that dotted line. Here are 4 crucial things that you must prepare for when you're considering an HOA community. Number 1 is you need a copy of the covenants and bylaws and restrictions. These documents outline the rules and regulations of the community, and your agent and the seller should be able to provide you with these documents. And it's so important that you take the time to review these documents so you know what you're signing up for. And number 2 is you must understand the costs that are associated with an HOA. Whether it's an annual fee or a monthly assessment, you need to know the financial impact. So your lender will also consider this when you are under contract. So for instance, if you are pre-approved for a mortgage for, let's say, $400,000, but the HOAs in the community is about $400 a month, then this could potentially affect your ability to secure that mortgage. It's so important to be aware of the financial implications of HOA fees. Number 3 is you need to become familiar with what you can and you cannot do. HOAs have a variety of rules, from rental restrictions to specific guidelines about property modifications. So be sure to review these thoroughly. It's your responsibility to know and understand these regulations. And number 4, it's crucial to understand the consequences of not following the rules. So typically you'll receive warnings for minor infractions, but fines can follow. And if you don't address the issue, worst case scenario, the HOA can even foreclose on your property if you have these repeated issues. So let's take a moment to dive deeper into some common HOA restrictions. Let's talk about rental restrictions. This one can be a significant concern for many homeowners. Many communities have rental caps, meaning that only a certain percentage of the properties in that neighborhood can be non-owner occupied. So if you plan to rent your property out after a certain period, it's crucial to know if your community is already close to reaching that rental cap. Another one is property modification rules, and this can vary widely from community to community. But for example, some communities may restrict the installation of private pools or permanent basketball hoops in the yard. So if you have plans to make significant changes to your property, it's essential to know if the HOA approves of these modifications. And when it comes to painting your house, some HOAs require specific colors or pre-approvals for any changes. So understanding these rules before you decide to make exterior changes is essential. The last thing you want to do is to invest in renovations only to find out that they don't comply with your community's guidelines. It's also a good idea to understand your HOA's financials. Are homeowners consistently paying their assessments? Are there any special assessments or ongoing financial issues? These details can help gauge the financial strength of the community. And in some states, HOAs have different ways of handling financial matters. So it's essential to have an idea of the community's financial stability. So before you decide on a home in an HOA community, be sure to educate yourself on the rules, the regulations, and the financial details. It's an essential part of making an informed choice about your next home. And if you have any questions or if you need information about HOAs, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I will help you out. And that's all I got for today. But thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth real estate insight. And I will catch you guys next week. You take care. Bye-bye.